keynote speaker, distinguished colleagues, my friends, and the organizers, Student Welfare Councils. I'm very glad to be here, actually. I used to see this building from my office very frequently. I think for a decade. I didn't actually expect it to be completed so soon. And I used to talk about purchasing an apartment here, actually. So anyway, the vicissitude of fortune that this building saw, I'm glad eventually it becomes a beautiful location. I want to talk a little bit about things that have kept us agrarian for 100 years or more than that. We tried to be industrialized. We tried to have some sort of modern economy in 1930s. You all know, and I often refer this as a first wave of industrialization in our country. In 1930s, when Juddha Samsar was Prime Minister, I think a lot of us know that that was when the Industry Act, Poudel or something like that, I forgot the name, was promulgated. And we attracted a lot of industrialists from Calcutta. So what we call the managers as, I think, the managing agencies from Calcutta. So Kazaria, Chimuria, all of those, they came in Biratnagar. And it was the time of Second World War. There was a lot of optimism. Despite what we think about Rana regime, they tried to do something very significant at the time. The banks were open, the industries were open. Biratnagar was very vibrant at the time. New city was actually set up. We got the electricity there. But the industrialization did not succeed. First wave of industrialization almost died at 1953, around 1953. A lot of things went wrong. We didn't have good leaders. We didn't have good CEOs. We almost depended basically entirely on leaders from Calcutta. We didn't have good education at the time. And then after 1953, there was a long period of doldrum. There was a long period of doldrum. We could not really industrialize our country. Then the Panchayat system came. And in 1966-67, what happened was, it was very significant, the currency devaluation or appreciation. The Nepalese currency actually was appreciated significantly. I don't know if you remember this. So this is a very important event in our country. In 1966, Nepalese currency, the Indian currency 100, used to be 160 Nepalese currency, but suddenly we made it 101. So 100 Indian currency equal to 101. So BOP collapsed. Everything collapsed at the time. We changed it later on, but the Indian goods became very cheap in Nepal. And then in 1973, what happened was the interest rate started growing. We actually, the saving rate went from 4% to 8% in a year. So things became very expensive in our country. The money became expensive. We didn't have foreign currency. We didn't have industrialization. This was the story up until, let's say, 1990s. We didn't have foreign currency. We had high interest rate. There was some liquidity, but there was no success story. Around 1975-76, there was a very famous survey done during the time of Biswo. They found out that I think the average tenure of members of board was around 2 years. Average experience. CEOs didn't have a lot of experience. So by 1976 or 1980, if you look at the budget statement of Surya Thapa, you would say we invested 2 billion rupees in the industries, government-owned, state-owned enterprises. The return is less than 1%. Return is very bad. We actually were basically agriculture country until 1990. We didn't really have any farms, no private sector, nothing. And then we had liberalization. You all know this story. This is not a success story. This is not something I feel very proud of. We are still in a very underdeveloped economy. We need good leaders. We need good leaders not only in politics, but also in schools, industries, banks, everywhere. We need good leaders. And in this context, I think it's good that you guys are organizing CEO conference. You are all very good leaders. Student unions traditionally are very good leaders anyway. So that is number one. So number two, what is going on right now? So I think we have a lot of money right now in the bank. So maybe 7,000 billion rupees, around that. Of course, there is a long list of blacklisted people right now. There's a lot of failure, but business is always about failure also. It's not only about success. If you look at the Silicon Valley in California, the startups run by students like you, I think they have 99.9% failure rate. Something like that. Check, I'm sure it's in Google. But we used to say that, that most of the companies fail. But we actually have some money. We didn't have 7,000 billion rupees in our history in our banking system, and we actually have that right now. So that's, in a way, it's a good thing. Bad thing is there are so many people who are blacklisted right now that people don't go to borrow money right now. More than 100,000 people are blacklisted right now. So these are actually the guys who, these are the people who had the courage to start the business. That's why they were blacklisted right now. So a lot of people are blacklisted, and that's why you hear CEOs telling us that we have money but we don't have borrowers. All the borrowers, not all, but 122,000 borrowers are blacklisted right now. So this is one challenge right now, and I think this is obstructing our growth. Another thing is we have a lot of NPL right now. But NPL is particularly concentrated at the range of 2 crore to 5 crore loans. These are at agriculture sector, these are at MSME sector. So what I say, inverted U-shaped NPL product. So in x-axis it's a loan, and y-axis it's a rate of non-performing loan. And there is very little NPL in the loan below 2 crore, and relatively little above 5 crore. The rich people are not affected. Poor people don't get loan anyway. So it's the middle class who are trying to be rich, they are failing. And this is bad for the economy, because if middle class fail, what happens? They're dragged down to lower class. And so the inequality will increase. And that is the issue right now. So we have high NPL in that 2 to 5 crore range. And that is a problem right now. That's the second issue right now. But we really good forex. And we all know foreign exchange, it's around 18, it's actually around $20 billion right now. It's a good amount of money. BC sir also alluded to it right now, a few minutes ago. With that, we can start our modernization. We can buy machines. It used to be very difficult to start a factory or start whatever company, or, import things like this 30 years ago. But right now we can do that. A lot of people start out as a trader. They go to China, they buy things, they bring those things here and sell. That's the first step in business. That's okay, I don't mind that. But they will gradually learn and grow. But there is opportunity because of the foreign exchange reserve we have right now. So in these three factors right now, there is money, although there is a long list of blacklisted people. There is a inverted U-shape of NPL, and there is a significant amount of forex. And that will guide our economy in the future, in the near future. And there will be a lot of liberalization, hopefully. There will be a lot of good governance things, including the insider lending that Mrs. Sir talked about. We'll deal with that in the future. But anyway, with these important three factors that I want you to remember when you start your new business or when you talk about business. I would again like to thank you very much for inviting me here, and I wish you all success for today's program.